Alright, these are baby celery. Big old forest of carrots. And a big old growth fennel for the dogs. There's just some carrots. Some decent sized ones. I just got harvested that much. And what else? Big old onions. Walla Walla onions. So that's like the bigger size. But some of them aren't that big, or they're getting there. Just keep covering them up with dirt as they get exposed. And this is that fennel. You give it to the dogs. It smells like licorice. Alright, and then the beans. And this is what I got today. Like, probably a gallon. It's a 2-gallon bag, so probably a gallon. And, oh, there's the one I dropped and I couldn't find. And I just take the ones that have the beans inside of them developed, so they're kind of bulgy. So even if they're short and they only have one of them, I take them off because if the beans are left to develop, it'll trigger a plant to go into reaction to, I don't know what beans do, bolt or flower or whatever they do that aren't producing food. So yeah, I mean, this is a good example I just picked. It's short and there's only half of them have beans, but the few that are left in there will still trigger that reaction, I think. That's what I heard. Some more onions down here. And then the old growth sunflowers. And peek over here. Neighbors have some stuff going on too. More of our sunflowers. Raspberries. And some cool potted plants. Strawberries. Lavender. Basil. Tomatoes. Alright. So I'll grab these. And then on to the other gardens. Let's put this here. Those there. So this is like the third generation of celery. They all got planted by seed at the same time, and developed at different dates. Pretty sure that's how it went. But I'll show you as I go the old growth and second generation celery, which I hope to juice. I'm filming all the harvests I'm doing right now.
You gotta put this up somewhere too.
Yeah.
Rammy.
Oh, you could hang them. Maybe.
Oh, right there.
Hang them off
right here.
the. Oh shoot! Yeah, because that's heavy.
Boop. And put some birdseed in it.
Yeah. Birdhouse.
You have birdseed?
Yeah, in the cat mansion. So here's the second generation celery. They're about a hand tall. Spaghetti squash. And really late zucchini. That's not too small anymore. It needs to go to the pot. And pumpkin patch. They're actually, we had a rain, I thought everything was gonna go mildewy like this. Some of them did, but for the most part they recovered really well. They've been pruned religiously all year, so the airflow was good. And these guys are little fertilizers. They're good farmers too. I'll show you where they have nests inside of the garden, in amongst the edible plants. And they snack on them, but they're not devastating. They're not devastating to the plants. So here's an example. there's a chicken bed. Well, I mean, they're like dust baths. They just basically spend all day in here, like it's a forest, and they like the shade during the hot, and they like the bugs under the straw mulch, and they love digging. They're like little dogs. They love digging all day long. So you can see there's pits. There's pits in around here in the old growth celery. Yeah, there's tractors. So the old growth celery is like, let's see, 1, 2, 3 hands high, but not quite ready. There's some really good stem development, but they're not quite. I don't know, maybe there's a way to harvest celery that I'm missing out on already. I don't know, but I'm gonna wait till the stalks are really plump and juice them. Never done that before. And here's the Brussels sprouts. You can see they're really late though. These ones are late. They went in middle of August maybe. And then next to them is the old growth broccoli, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 hands high, and it goes. And then of course, this is a forest for the chickens. So way down here, oh, it's not focusing. There we go. So it's like a forest with shade, and then the chickens will snack on the brassica leaves, unfortunately, but they don't. I mean, as long as they're introduced to the crop, once the crop's mature and developed, they snack on the leaves, but it doesn't matter. It's not gonna slow the good growth, there, because they can't really reach up where the good eatins are. They could if they want, but it's just easier for them to grab some ratty old dead leaf that I'm gonna snap off. I'm just gonna snap anything with a yellow on it anyway, so have that, and it's good for them. This is the compost pile. So we have regular visitors to the compost pile all day long because it's bug infested. And so yeah, they're my fertilizers because they just run around the garden with the mature plants and fertilize them. And I don't know, I just like seeing them in there like it's a forest. So here are the 2 plants I could have sworn were Brussels sprouts, but they ended up being broccoli. Oh yeah. So these guys are in there all day digging around the eaten crop, and I just as an experiment to see how it'd go, I planted some of these second generation celery. After they looked like they were ready and established in the C flat, I took my risk and see what would happen, and the chickens, like, they kind of knocked them around. Like, they beat them up a little bit, but they didn't eat them. I mean, I just figured they just eat them, little baby leaves, but they just leave them. Like, here's another baby that's been here forever. Like, good eating for them, but they just leave it. So that's good. That's a good lesson learned. So I have the option to keep growing celery even when it's vulnerable. Oh yeah. So yesterday I filled up half of a 2-gallon bag, a little more than half a 2-gallon bag, with the broccoli. Yeah, they get right up there. Well, the young agile ones, the old docile, the old crippled ones can't get up, but the young ones can. And anyway, so I harvested all the broccoli from, like, this is like one I just happened to miss, but it's just a bite. Here's another bite. And next week, all these little bites, well, the little baby ones, see, next week that'll be at least that, if not that. And then it's just like exponential growth for the little bites. I just harvested and there's already the next day more ready. Okay, I'm gonna bring this, because this is already in the freezer. I just want to show you, but I don't want the steam cook, so I gotta bring it in to put it back in the freezer.